Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Now, the City of Johannesburg has a shortage of fire trucks with the winter already in full swing and fire emergencies usually on the rise. This poses a great danger for both the residents and the metro municipality. Emergency Services in Johannesburg says there should be one fire engine in one of the 35 stations in Gauteng. For more on this, we're joined by Robert Mulaudzi, who speaks for the City of Johannesburg. Very good afternoon to you. Thank you for your time. Fire season is in full swing, and you're saying there's a shortage of firefighting engines. Talk to us about this.
Good afternoon, awesome afternoon to the viewers. Yes, let me just firstly correct your introduction there. The City of Johannesburg has got about 29 operational fire stations, which are spread throughout the City of Johannesburg. And then right now we've got the central fire station, which is currently being under construction, which will add from the 29 to make it 30 fire stations throughout the City of Johannesburg. Mm-hmm. So yes, as you have said in your introduction, we do have a shortage. At this stage, we are operating at almost half of the required vehicles which we need to operate fully in all those 29 fire stations. However, as a department or the city, we are doing something about it. The city has already advertised the tender, and the tender has been awarded to a service provider. Right now, the city is currently negotiating for a service level agreement with the service provider so that we can be able to acquire some of the vehicles which for now will be able to address the challenges which we face now. And then over and above that, the city has got a 3-year procurement process which is also underway, which will also address permanently the challenges which we have throughout the city, because ideally we are supposed to have at least 29 fire stations, meaning that each and every fire engines is supposed to have at least 29 fire engines in each of our 29 fire stations, of which right now we're operating almost half of those, about 16 of those. So right now we are forced to strategically place those fire vehicles in areas which has got much more risk than the others. So those vehicles are able to effectively respond to emergencies as and when they happen throughout the City of Johannesburg.
From what you're saying and from what I'm gathering, surely the city could have foreseen this long before the fire season even started. And from my understanding, the shortage is a result of a tender issue.
Yes, I think I don't want to come here and start, coming up with excuses about what happened, what transpired. Yes, there were a lot of issues which is well documented in terms of tenders, from the days when the other tender was cancelled up until where we find ourselves in. But I think our residents don't want to hear me coming here and explaining about what happened. They want to see us providing the service. That is exactly what we are doing, to make sure that we provide effective service to them. What do we do with the vehicles which we have? We make sure that we put them in areas where we will be able to respond as and when our residents require us to respond to those emergencies. So what happens if we have got emergencies which require even more resources? We do have our other colleagues from other neighboring municipalities like Tshwane and Ekurhuleni who we are able to activate as and when we are required. But for now, we want to reassure our residents that we are still very much capable of rendering effective emergency management services as mandated by the City of Johannesburg Council and, of course, the residents of the City of Johannesburg. So we are doing everything in our power to make sure that each and every fire station has got a first turnout vehicle which is capable of operating firefighting operations, and also maybe attending to motor vehicles and all that.
Yeah.
Maybe also I must explain that the city has got other vehicles which can be utilized, because maybe when we say shortage, we're just talking general, and then it creates a lot of confusion. The fire service vehicles have got categories. We have got your grass firefighting vehicles, you've got your platforms, leather platforms, you've got your hazmat units, you've got your rescue units and all that, so rapid intervention units and all that. The other vehicles we do have, which we can be able to utilize them as and when they are required. The only shortage which we have is on the first turn-out vehicles, of which we do have other vehicles like water tankers, which can be utilized as and when they are required. So there is no fire station whereby you'll find out that the station doesn't have a specific vehicle which deals with a specific risk in the community. If a specific fire station doesn't have a first turnout vehicle, it will have the one of the above 13 categories of vehicles which I've mentioned. It might have a grass firefighting unit, it might have a ladder platform, it might have a swift rescue unit, or any other vehicles which I've mentioned. So the City of Johannesburg is still capable of rendering effective emergency services to the residents of the City of Johannesburg. Okay,
so in assuring the City of Johannesburg residents, there is just that little concern that because of the shortage, services could be slower. We're in the fire season already.
Yes.
Residents have already complained in previous years that fires have occurred and officials have come too late, and delays have occurred in the process. So you don't want to get into the details of the reason why this has happened and how the city could have foreseen this, but in terms of timelines, when do you think the fleets will be fully, the ratios will equate to the number of vehicles that are needed to fully service the City of Johannesburg at a very crucial time when fires are deadly? I mean, you would know that.
Yes, we understand that right now is the fire season. Hence, we're saying that there is that process which is the short term, which is the ones of procurement process, which is already underway. The service providers already been appointed. Right now, the city is negotiating for a service level agreement with the supplier. And over and above that, there's another process, which is a 3-year procurement process. So those processes are underway while we are intensifying our, public community outreach programs, because we know that even if we still have enough vehicles, we have got those 30 fire engines or first turnouts which I spoke about. We still have a responsibility to empower our residents, because as an organization, we're saying prevention is the future. So we are on the ground making sure that we're empowering our residents about what is it that they can do. If she's in an emergency, what is it that she can do to be able to assist herself while she's waiting for others, professionals. So the public education efforts, we are intensifying them while we are intensifying also the process of procuring those additional resources to make sure that we can be able to bring effective service to the residents of the City of Johannesburg.
Very well. Thank you so much for your time. Let's perhaps leave it there for now. The City of Johannesburg Emergency Services spokesperson Robert Mulaudzi speaking about the shortage of fire trucks in the City of Johannesburg.